Crosswalk is in place.
Are you kidding? This is the best ever.
ABC 7, getting results and always on your side.
Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, floor collapse. The shocking moment caught on camera. Partygoers in a building near Clemson University tumbling on top of one another.
The floor broke.
Dozens of people hurt as the clubhouse floor gives way. How did this happen?
Border showdown. Mexico pushing back the caravan of thousands of Central American migrants heading towards the U.S. and the president's unfounded claim against Democrats.
The Democrats want caravans. They like the caravans.
As Joe Biden blasts Trump's zero-tolerance immigration policy.
Lottery frenzy. Two massive jackpots growing with no Powerball winner overnight. A combined $2 billion now at stake. The rush for tickets as lottery players keep their dreams alive.
Sacking the Super Bowl, Amy Schumer says she will not star in any of the big game's advertisements this year to support Colin Kaepernick. Her message to other celebrities this morning.
And go Speed Racer. Formula One hits the road in Texas. Fans there from all over the world.
You're a Hammer Time groupie.
We are.
That's it? No 5-point harness?
As Rob takes us on a wild ride-along.
Whoa, you were skidding there, Mel. Holy smokes.
With the pedal to the metal.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
All right, good morning. We'll bring you Rob freaking out in just a few minutes. We want to start here, though, with the story that broke overnight. A packed party near Clemson University in South Carolina quickly and violently taking a turn for the worse.
Look at the video. The floor collapsing. Revelers tumbling on top of one another, falling into the basement. Now, 30 people were taken to 3 local hospitals, according to police.
And now the big question, how did this happen? In a moment, we'll hear from the fire chief, but let's start with ABC's Ariel Reshiev, who is in studio with the details. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Crazy video here. What was supposed to be a night of celebration turning into terror as that clubhouse floor gave way, as you can see, sending dozens of people plummeting to a lower level.
Breaking overnight, a horrifying scene at a homecoming party. Students from Clemson University celebrating on a packed dance floor. You can see them jumping up and down to a popular song by Chief Keef when suddenly the ground gives way beneath. People screaming in terror, plunging into the basement.
The floor broke.
Cell phone video capturing this man struggling to hold on to what's left of the floorboards. First responders rushing to the Woodland apartment complex around 12:30 this morning, treating 30 people for injuries.
As of right now, from what I know, they had 7 extra traumas, unknown how many other people the whole complex collapsed.
20-year-old Raven Guerra stepping off the dance floor just as it went down.
By the time I had put one foot out the door, I felt that something was weird, and that's when everyone just collapsed and the guy behind me disappeared. Everyone was on the floor and people were screaming and there was wood sticking up from beyond floorboards. Just like turning around and seeing a bunch of people who used to be on the second floor now in the basement was really surreal, and people were crying, and it was just like a lot to take in at one time.
Well, as you can imagine, authorities are now investigating what caused that floor to buckle. Miraculously, though, guys, police say no one was trapped and there were no serious injuries. They don't think any of those injuries were life-threatening.
That's great news.
That's fantastic news, especially when you see the video and you think about this was supposed to be a celebration. Clemson beating North Carolina State. Everyone was so excited. Clearly, the party turning out much differently than they expected.
Ariel, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
We spoke with the Clemson University Fire Chief, William Daniel, just a short time ago. Take a listen to what he had to say. Chief, thanks for joining us. If you could first start by just walking us through exactly what happened.
Well, approximately 12:34 this morning, we were dispatched to a reported deck collapse at an apartment complex, and on arrival, first unit's been about 4 minutes, found dance floor had collapsed into the basement, and we had approximately 30 injured folks.
When you say dance floor, was this a venue that was a club, that was a dance club?
It's a clubhouse for an apartment complex.
Now, what kind of injuries did you see when you arrived there on the scene?
Our crews had multiple lower extremity fractures. The most serious was a pelvic fracture.
And when you say it collapsed into the basement, what floor were these people on? Was this the first floor collapsing into the basement?
Yeah, they were on the first floor. They were on the first floor. It was like a social area with kind of a gathering area, dance floor, and then there was a pool room, amenities below that. All
right. Well, Chief William Daniel from Clemson University, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your help.
Okay. Y'all have a good morning.
The thing you see when you look at the looped video, the more we play it, is that there are people on the edges where the floor didn't collapse.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, they're standing on the edge of a cliff.
They're literally, the floor collapsed into the center, it looks like, when you watch that video.
And thankfully, it wasn't higher up, too. I mean,
Yes.
it was just one floor, and so those injuries, as they say, not life-threatening, which is definitely good news. We want to move on to some other headlines that we're following this morning. The caravan of migrants trying to make its way to the U.S. President Trump is praising Mexico's efforts to slow that caravan as he hurls new blame at Democrats. ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is at the White House this morning with more on what the president told supporters at a rally in Nevada. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. President Trump sees that caravan as a potential political win, a way to galvanize the base on a key issue, immigration, ahead of the midterms.
At the last stop on his western swing, President Trump thanking Mexico for pushing back this caravan of 3,000 Central American migrants heading towards the U.S.
Is that an incredible situation? It's sad. And it's sad, honestly, it's sad from both sides. And I want to thank Mexico. Mexico has been so incredible because now Mexico respects the leadership of the United States. They haven't done this.
Just weeks away from the midterms, Trump in Elko, Nevada, rallying for Republicans in tight races and sharpening his attacks, blaming the Democrats without any proof for the crisis on the border.
The Democrat Party, and it's openly inviting millions of illegal aliens to break our laws, violate our borders, and overwhelm our nation. The Democrats want caravans. They like the caravans.
The ramped-up offensive comes as the president threatens to take drastic measures and send the military to the border.
I will seal off the border before they come into this country, and I'll bring out our military.
On the other side of the state, former Vice President Joe Biden stumping for Democrats.
What the hell's going on in America? Ripping infants from their mother's arms at the borders. What are we doing? What have we become?
President Trump was taking shots at Biden, even asking the crowd for suggestions of a new nickname. One woman shouted, "Creepy Joe," but President Trump said he wouldn't go that far. He did say, though, that he hopes that Biden will be a 2020 nominee because he thinks he can easily take him on. Dan?
Tara Palmieri reporting in from the White House. Tara, thank you very much. A lot to talk about as always, so let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, who will be hosting this week later this morning.
Guys.
Good morning, sir. How you doing? So Trump, once again, blaming the Democrats for this caravan. Is that a charge? I mean, it's unfounded. Is it likely to stick?
Well, not only is it unfounded, the president has also been a little bit confusing on that because he's also taking credit for the caravan, saying all these people want to come to the United States because I've made the economy so strong. So if you've got that argument right there, I think it's a mix for the president. On the one hand, this whole issue of immigration certainly energizes and inflames his base, gets his voters out there. The president, that's why he's gone back to it so many times on the stump. At the same time, that family separation policy is tremendously unpopular and probably fueling opposition to the president, especially in those swing House districts, suburban House districts, where the opposition is very, very strong. So I think it's kind of a mixed bag for the president. I don't think it's going to be the top issue going into this election. And then when you look at our poll, our ABC News poll with the Washington Post, it shows that on the issue of immigration, overall, Americans trust Democrats more than Republicans.
That's interesting. We're nearly 2 weeks out from the midterms, and on your show this morning, this week, you've sent my former co-host, known around here as the defector, Paula Ferris. You've sent her to Texas, where she sat down with both of the candidates in this really closely watched Senate race there. And the Democratic challenger, Beto O'Rourke, who's running against Ted Cruz, has now resurrected this line of attack that Donald Trump used against Ted Cruz in the primaries in 2016. He called him, Beto O'Rourke called Ted Cruz Lion Ted in one of the debates. And Paula asked the candidates about that. Let's take a listen.
He called you Lion Ted. He started insulting and attacking. And look, it's clear he and his team, they're rattled, and they've decided, all right, launch the dogs, release the hounds, as they would say on The Simpsons. Well, look, that's fine. We're going to keep focused on issues and substance.
You say you want to secure the borders. Can you do that without a wall? Can you do that without militarizing the border?
El Paso, Texas, my hometown, has been one of the safest cities in America for the last 20 years and counting. It's because we have great members of the Border Patrol, local law enforcement, but also because we're a city of immigrants and people see a shared future in their community and they want to make it safer. They feel comfortable reporting crimes, testifying at trials. So we don't need a wall, to answer your question. We don't need to militarize the border. We already spend $20 billion a year to secure our border and remain vigilant against any threats coming our way. What I do think we need to do is to ensure that we don't try to solve these problems at our border. If things are so desperate in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, that someone would risk their lives to come here, then what can we do to improve conditions there?
So this is a deep red state. Does Democrats stand any chance of winning?
Beto O'Rourke has raised an awful lot of money, something like $30 million. He's the leading fundraiser, Senate fundraiser for Democrats around the country. It's become a bit of a cult phenomenon. But as you say, this is a tough race. Texas is a red state. Cruz is fairly well known there, and it seems like he's done what he needs to do to secure that Senate seat. But, you know, one of the things we've learned in politics these last few years, anything can happen.
Yeah, really? 2016? I'm going to ask you to make a prediction, but obviously you'll do it gingerly. We're 2 weeks from Tuesday. We're going to be voting. These are very unusually closely watched midterms. How do things look in terms of for each party?
Well, we're actually going to have Nate Silver from 538 on this morning. And right now, his forecasts have Democrats have about an 80% chance of taking the House, and Republicans have an 80% chance of keeping the Senate. One of the things we're going to talk to Nate about this morning is, what does 80% really mean? I think a lot of people see that number and say, oh, well, it's a sure thing the Democrats are going to take the House, sure thing Republicans are going to take the Senate. He will explain why that's not the case.
All right, George Stephanopoulos, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning. He's going to be speaking with two members of the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat Adam Schiff and Republican Peter King, about the death of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Plus, more from the campaign trail with Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Beto O'Rourke. That's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC. George, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Turning now to the mounting pressure for Saudi Arabia to explain the death of a journalist at its consulate in Istanbul. Turkey saying it will not allow a cover-up, and President Trump is now weighing in with new comments. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Istanbul with the latest. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Eva. Just 2 days after the Saudi government initially suggested a fistfight in the consulate led to journalist Jamal Khashoggi's death, President Trump is now challenging the kingdom's explanation. Overnight, the president telling the Washington Post, quote, obviously there's been deception and there's been lies. But according to the Post, Trump says he's not ready to condemn Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, adding, nobody has told me he's responsible. Nobody has told me he's not responsible. We haven't reached that point. I would love if he wasn't responsible.
Now, looking at those comments from President Trump, this appears to be a change of tone from the president, right?
Yeah, that's right, Eva. The president said on Friday he found the statements credible and a good first step. Trump also continues to cite this major arms deal with Saudi Arabia as a reason to keep doing business with them.
So, Ian, what does the president plan to do next?
Yeah, well, so earlier on Saturday, he told reporters that he planned to speak with the Crown Prince very soon and that he was still not satisfied until we find the answer. And we should make clear that an unnamed Saudi official is leaking alleged details, but repeated requests from ABC for answers have so far been unanswered by the Saudis. Eva?
All right, thanks. Ian Pannell in Istanbul, Turkey. Thanks for joining us this morning. So many questions still in that story.
Absolutely. We are going to make a turn now to the lottery frenzy. We thought it was big yesterday, today even bigger. No jackpot winner in last night's Powerball drawing as well. So there is now more than $2 billion up for grabs between the Powerball and the Mega Millions lotteries. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in Los Angeles, where the lines are expected to get even longer this week. Marcy, good morning.
Hey, yeah, the lines are going to be pretty long all across the country because there were no big winners in last night's Powerball. So those huge jackpots for both drawings are still up for grabs. Now, even though nobody won big last night, you still might want to check your tickets because there were some $1 million and $2 million winners. But now, of course, everyone's just talking about the big money. That Powerball jackpot rolls over. It is up to $620 million for Wednesday night's drawing, and that's really nothing compared to the Mega Millions. That jackpot now up to $1.6 billion. That number is so huge, it doesn't fit on the machines. They're actually having to hand write it in. You can see it right there. And again, the largest lottery jackpot in U.S. history.
And officials telling us that number could get even bigger before Tuesday's drawing. Marcy, I wanted to ask you, though, this prize, it keeps rolling over in part because the odds of winning are just so small.
The odds are so small, Wade, about 1 in 300 million of winning either of these jackpots. So put it in a little perspective for you. You have a better chance of having identical quadruplets. The chances are better of dying in a vending machine accident, and you are also more likely to become a saint than to win either of these jackpots.
Marcy, I've gotten my hand stuck in vending machines before, so does that mean I have higher odds?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know. You're still living, so I don't know.
Okay. You had to get that bag of Funyuns, didn't you? Yeah, when the Funyuns get stuck, you know, the odds change. Marcy Gonzalez, thanks so much.
All right, Marcy, thank you very much. Time for the weather. Rob Marciano, sadly not with us in studio. However, he's not unhappy about the fact that he's in Austin, Texas today, getting ready for today's Formula One Grand Prix. Robert, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Formula One. It is the motorsport series in the world, steeped in history, completely international, and it only makes one stop in the U.S., and it is right here in Austin, Texas, at the Circuit of the Americas, and it's going to be on ABC this afternoon, and we are here to cover it, of course. And yesterday, I think I pulled out the lottery ticket by getting a ride along with a legendary driver. We'll have more on that a little bit later on the program. But let's talk weather. A pretty impressive cold front that moved through the upper Midwest. In Wisconsin, the Badger game against Illinois, there were snow squalls there. And shocking news out of Ohio State, too. Congrats to Purdue. And also through parts of Illinois. Joliet, there was wind damage with a snow squall there. Radar showing a little bit of action as far as the radar is concerned across the Northeast. With some cold air rolling down there. And yeah, it's a bit of a shock to the system with more cold air driving down to the south. Wind chills this morning are in the 20s and 30s. And tomorrow morning, even sub-freezing in through parts of the Northeast, including Boston. So, and another cold blast. So we're into the area of the year where the air just keeps getting colder and colder, as it should. And there you go, Fargo. You're right through it through Thursday morning. That's a check on the weather headlines nationally. It's time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. A chilly day today. Temperatures only in the low to mid 50s. Have some gusty winds as well. So if you're heading out to FedEx today, yeah, dress in layers. And yes, go Skins, of course. We do have a frost advisory early tomorrow morning. 30s throughout the region. Cover the sensitive plants. 59 for your forecast high on your Monday. Mid 60s on Tuesday. That'll be the warmest day of the work week. Dropping back to the 50s Wednesday through Saturday of next week. Next chance for rain appears to be into next weekend.
The last time I covered a race for GMA was the Formula E races, which is all electric vehicles. You know I'm a tree hugger, but today, this weekend, it's my cheat weekend, okay? You got to have some gasoline every once in a while, and we're going to burn up the track later on this afternoon.
Rob, we're looking at some video. You got a ride. I believe we're going to hear you squeal at some point. High-pitched squeals of fear, which I'm looking forward to immensely.
More than once, my friend, more than once.
As long as you didn't poop your pants, that's all that matters.
All right, thank you, Rob. We'll talk to you coming up in the next half hour.
Well, the LA Dodgers, they are heading to the World Series, going head-to-head with the Boston Red Sox. The Dodgers clinching the National League pennant last night with a 5-1 win over the Milwaukee Brewers. Cody Bellinger giving his team the lead with a 2-run home run in the second inning. And then Yasiel Puig, hopefully I said that correctly.
You got it.
Giving the Dodgers a little extra comfort with a 3-run shot in the sixth. Game 1 of the World Series starts Tuesday at Fenway Park in Boston.
You know, I don't know much about sports, as we've established firmly on the show over the last 8 years.
about
But
Boston.
you know, in boxing, when they put like a palooka in the ring to fight somebody who's really good, I feel like that's what the Dodgers are with the Red Sox.
Oh, I see
right?
what's happening.
I would say
It's
a
just
lot
like
of people
they-
think that
The
way.
East-West rivalry already taken.